Hey, what's going on guys? Colin here with Red Beans and Dice, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do dungeon tile out of pink insulation foam. Now the insulation foam that I'm using, I say pink because it's pink. Yep. It's called actually Pink Panther insulation foam. I got it at Home Depot. It comes in a huge slab. I actually had to have a lady there at Home Depot actually cut it into 4 pieces for me to fit it into my Camry. So it comes in a big slab. It's about, I want to say $16 to $20. I bought it about a year ago. That's why I can't remember the exact price, but I figure I would show you a little something different. Instead of doing board games, I'll show you how to make some terrain for probably Dungeons and Dragons where, you know, if you want to use the models, you can move it actually along a cool looking dungeon piece, a dungeon tile. And then I also played Warhammer 40K, Warhammer Fantasy. I kind of looked into Age of Sigmar. I got out of that before it got too pricey. I was smart about it. But you can definitely use these tiles for terrain, whether it's a stone wall you want to use for cover in Warhammer, or if you just want something cool to kind of liven up your Dungeons and Dragons session. I'm going to show you what you need in order to make these. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's really easy. You're gonna see the finished product and be like, that doesn't even look like, you know, it's gonna look great. You're gonna love it, okay? So let me get into showing you some of the products you're gonna use, and we'll go ahead and jump right into the first step. Okay, so let's get into what you will need for this project. Here is one that I finished a little while ago. I got 2 of them here. As you can see, they are the pink insulation foam that I was talking about. It's Pink Panther. This insulation foam is a 1/4 inch thick, and it's gonna come in a big long sheet. I mean, it'll be huge. Maybe they'll cut it down and sell you a smaller piece, but the way that I bought it, it was in a huge slab, and so that's just kind of how it is. So you'll obviously need the pink insulation foam. There is white foam out there which you can buy. It is not as good, it's not as sturdy and durable. Go get this stuff, it's the best. I've seen it in different locations where it's actually blue, that I'm not sure what company makes that or what brand it is, but it's basically the same stuff. But here in the Midwest, it seems like Pink Panther is the stuff that you're going to want to go for. Okay, so right now I just have some basic stuff here. I got a little bit of water because you are painting. I have a ballpoint pen, and that's really important that you have a ballpoint. So no fine tip or anything weird like that, and you'll see why you need the ballpoint here in a little bit when I explain that to you. I got a little paint mixing tray because, you know, we're gonna be painting today. So black acrylic, white acrylic, and then I have some ultramarine blue here. It doesn't matter what you use, okay? It's just any sort of blue. And that's actually gonna be for the last final dry brush coat that you put on that really makes it, a lot of the details will pop out on that last final dry brush. And I'll go through that, I'll show you what's going on there. I have 2 old brushes. Don't go out, buy new brushes, don't do it. You can probably find some, I don't know, at a friend's house or at your mom or dad's, or if you really need to go buy some, they have really cheap ones at Hobby Lobby or Walmart. It's a bundle package. It's like $4.50, and they'll give you 8 to 9 to 10 different styles of brushes, and it really doesn't matter which ones you use, so that's my opinion. And here we have some aluminum foil, so you're thinking, what the heck is that for? It's not for baking potatoes. I will show it to you later what we're gonna do with this. It's a very crucial part of getting some of the texture on this. And then I have a sacrificial little dinner plate here that obviously, it's kind of looking beautiful actually. It's got a little bit of cloudiness right there. So, and this is just to get some of the paint out of your brush as you'll be applying lighter coats to your pink insulation foam to get it to look like that dungeon tile. And you'll need a ruler, obviously, to kind of measure out some of the marks here. So I think that's about it. And let's go ahead and I'll show you step 1, and we can get on with this. I'll try to make this tight and quick and to the point so you don't have too much video to watch, and you can get something really good, really quality, just really quickly. And like I said, this used to be this. You wouldn't believe it, but I'll show you the steps to turn this, or make this out of this. All right. Okay, so step number one, I took a knife and I actually cut it into a 3x3 inch tile here. That's another tool I forgot to mention you earlier. Be careful when you use this, you know, don't be an idiot. Don't cut yourself, I don't want to see that. But I just cut it into 3 inches by 3 inches. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to make 1-inch marks so that we can essentially get these little 1-inch cubes here on the pink insulation foam. Okay, and you're going to want to dig in a little bit with your ballpoint pen. And then I did these 3 inches by 3 inch. You do not have to do that. You can make one that's huge, you can make one that's small, you can make a little hallway leading to another room. I always thought that'd be a cool idea. It's just, this is a tutorial, I just want to show you the basics, so the smaller the better. Okay, so I made 1-inch marks. I'm not sure if you can 100% see that, but let me connect them and you'll kind of get the gist of what's going on here. Okay. And the good thing about this is it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? It's a dungeon tile, it's gonna be a little worn out, beat up. You don't want everything to look exactly the same. If one tile's a little angled, it's not a big deal, it really isn't. So you're gonna be really kind of aggressively messing this thing up like it owes you money. You're gonna be poking holes into it. You're gonna be pushing your fingernail into it. We're gonna be taking stuff off the side with the knife. I'll show you that a little later. So there's really no wrong answers here with making this, which is, it's good, it's fun. So, okay. All right, I got everything kind of gridded off there, looking good. So my next step is on the sides, you're gonna wanna bring that mark all the way down to the side so that when you look at it on an angle, you can actually see the separation between the tiles when you look at it from the side, and really dig in there deep. I could use a ruler for this, but meh, here I go. Okay. And then I can't 100% know if you're seeing that on the camera there, but this is the side I cut with a knife. It looks pretty bad. It's not the best, but at the same time, it's going to be dungeon tile, so that's fine. It's a little dinged and danged. That's not a problem. It's only going to make this tile better. Alright. Almost done. Okay. Just kind of go over some of these marks to make them a little deeper. I think the deeper the better. Alright, looking good. Okay, so now something to kind of add to the, I don't know, to make it look cooler. Something that I do is kind of make some cracks in it, you know? And, you know, there's no set method to this. It's just kind of go crazy, see what happens. Okay. And then you kind of want each tile to have something a little unique about it. You don't want one to just be 100% plain, so just kind of put some cracks in it. Go to town, make sure you push down. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it as is, and then once again the knife comes out. So just to show you that it doesn't really matter what you do. You're like, look at this crazy person, what's he doing, taking his anger out. You know, I could even go in deep like that. One thing I really like to do is I don't like these kind of smooth edges, so I'll just kind of rough it up a bit, or you can kind of take good nice chunks out of the side like that. You can also use your fingers or your fingernails, just kind of get in there. You don't want this to look good, you want it beat up a little bit. So here we go, just kind of pressing down, put your fingernails into it, you know. All right. And then do be careful, don't cut yourself, please. Okay. Kind of get in there like that, push down on the sides. Really get it ugly. Okay. All right, it's starting to get a little grimy there, as you can see it. Okay, we got the sides here, all of our lines drawn down the sides. That's good. Okay, perfect. Now I am going to call that good. Maybe I'll take a little corner piece out of that tile, push down a little there, push down a little there. And then now we're gonna jump into the aluminum foil, which is one of my favorite parts. So what is this for? I'm gonna show you right now. What you're gonna wanna do is ball this up, and then when I say ball it up, just roll it up. I like to leave it a little longer, folded hot dog style, I guess you could say. And so basically, I like to leave it as long as, you know, obviously 3 inches, a little longer maybe. And that's just so I can really roll over it and get texture into it, like like something's been dropped on it, or it's been worn or weathered or used a lot. So that is what the aluminum foil is for, and you really wanna kind of press down really hard on this. So. Okay, and then rookie mistake that I made, I didn't get the sides the first time I did it, and it just didn't look as good. So make sure you hit the sides, every side. You don't have to worry about the bottom. Some people paint the bottom black. Sure, whatever, waste your time if you want. So getting the sides here. Alright, boom, boom, boom. And then I can already see that these tiles are just starting to really become unique, and try not to get the same part of the aluminum foil on the same part of the foam. You want to create unique kind of patterns that don't all look the same. So there we go with that, there we go with that. Okay. Got the sides, maybe a little more, and then you can always go back at this point, you know, if you see something like, oh, this tile doesn't, you know, there's nothing going on here, you know, maybe poke a hole in it, rip it a bit, give it another crack. You can always go back. That's the great part about this. There's no wrong answers. Everything you do is just going to make it look a little better. So that's kind of a little too perfect and 90-degree angle-y for me, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut that off like that, use my fingernails. And you know what, I might even go ahead and make these even a little more. A little more deep. Okay. Okay, and that is about it. You know, that took a couple of minutes, and you can see it's already looking pretty textured. It's got dips and cracks, and you know, kind of the edges are worn and beat up a little bit. So the aluminum foil really helps. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it a couple more times, and then we're basically done with this step. You can go as far as you want. You can get this as beat up as you want, or you can leave it like this, or, you know, like I'm saying, there's no wrong answers with this, which is really great. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next phase, which is gonna be painting. So I'm going to tell you kind of the steps that you're gonna need to follow in order to get it looking similar to these two right here. And you're gonna start out, you're gonna paint it black, and you're gonna do all of it black, just solid flat black. I recommend painting it. I've never spray painted before, so I'm not sure how that will work out, but just use your acrylic, paint it black, and then we're gonna go with a dark gray for the second coat. For the third coat, we're gonna do a medium gray. For the fourth coat, we're gonna do a light gray, and then for the fifth coat, we're gonna do a very light gray with a little bit of, this is where the blue comes in, a little bit of blue. I like to put a little blue in there to give it the kind of cold, stony look to it. the Stone Cold Steve Austin look. Alright, so the first step in painting is gonna be to get a black and just paint everything black, and that is it. Make sure you get everything because it is pink and you don't want any pink showing through. So just go through, be thorough. You made a lot of cuts and divots and cracks. Make sure you get in there. That's about it. I'm gonna go ahead and paint this all up black, and I'm gonna let it sit and dry. Really be thorough. Let it sit for about 10 minutes. If you want to speed it up, put a fan on it. But make sure that you let the paint dry on it. And yeah, that's basically it for the first step. Okay, so I got it all painted black, and now I made a dark gray with just a little bit of white into the black. So I'm gonna go ahead, and you'll want to kind of do a thin kind of dry coat of this. Not as thick as the first coat, obviously, but just go along, and it's kind of like it's almost like a charcoal gray. It's really dark with, you know, it's just gonna be a little lighter. And like I said, there's no mixture or perfect formula you're gonna use. Just go ahead and get a really dark gray and go from there. So I just kind of hit it with a moderately light coat of charcoal gray, kind of. So that's that. I'm gonna let it sit and dry, and then we're gonna just go ahead, and as you can see, I have my color mixed over here. I'm just gonna keep on adding white to that until we get down to the final phase, and I'm really gonna get it light gray, and I'm gonna add a little bit of blue to it, and you're gonna see how that really makes it come alive and turns it into basically one of the finished products, one of these over here. All right, so I'm gonna let this sit, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, so we got our dark gray added here, and so now we're gonna kind of do our medium gray here, and this is where you really want to start to kind of dry brush it on. I'm gonna go ahead and just use this little piece of paper right here and get a lot of that out of my brush, and what you're gonna want to do is just lightly go after it. That is basically it for this. Make sure you get the sides. If you see any pink showing through, just go ahead and just get it with whatever color you're using at the moment. So this is really when you're gonna start to dry brush everything on, and I'm not 100% sure if you can kind of see it coming to life here and getting that stone texture, but any moment now. Okay, so. And then as you dry brush it on, you're gonna have to wait less and less time for it to kind of dry, so that's a good thing. I'm kind of impatient, so there we go. All right, get the sides. Oh yeah, it's starting to pop. I feel like Bob Ross here, man, I'm telling you. Okay. Alright, and you can see it's going pretty quickly here, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the video cam. I'm going to let this sit for just a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and make it another batch of even lighter gray. We'll do a light gray one, and then for the last coat we'll do a light gray one with a little bit of blue, and then hopefully I can kind of get a close-up of this with the camera and focus it in so you can kind of see it. So alright, that's about it, and shoot, I think this is done. Yeah, I'll let it sit for a little bit and we'll go from there. Alright, so now I got some light gray, and with this you're really just going to want to go very lightly with it and dry brush the crap out of it. I mean, you want barely anything on your brush with this. Get it almost all out of your brush. And then you're going to want to really go lightly on it. So get the sides. And then there's a little trick with the final coat that I can show you also, but hopefully you can kind of see the colors pop out a little bit. Let me see if I can. And then this is where the aluminum foil really takes it to the next level. All those little crunchy nooks and bumps, I mean, they're really gonna make everything pop a little bit. So I'm gonna get a little more on here. Okay. And then if you're not 100% sure what dry brushing is, look up a video. It's basically getting all the dang paint out of the brush, and you're just gonna lightly brush it up and down, and you're gonna kind of, any sort of divots or cracks are gonna become, I don't know, just, there's a video for it somewhere. So, but yeah, get all the paint out, go from there. And as you can see, it's really starting to look good. I got one more coat on it and we're gonna be done. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the cam and let this dry for a bit, and I'll get back to you. All right, so the last and final stage is gonna be the last coat of very, very, very light gray with a little bit of blue in it. So that's what I got mixed up right here. And you're really gonna want to get all of that, almost all of that paint out of the brush. I mean, really. And then when you dry brush this on, you're gonna wanna go really, really, really lightly. And then this is, the last coat is usually the one that makes everything pop and really makes the tile come together. So you're gonna wanna and then if you really want to get down to it, you can go ahead and add a little white to your last and final color, make it even lighter. You can go as many coats as you want. I think 4 to 5 is usually kind of the best, so just my opinion. Like I said, there's multiple ways to do this, so. Okay. And real thin, light coats, get everything out. And then something I like to do is kind of maybe hit the edges just a little bit harder, kind of make the edges pop a bit. On the sides, that is. And you know what? Voila, I'm gonna call it good. So this is the finished product.
You can use this in gaming. You know what, to be honest, I thought it was kind of cool. It kind of looks like a coaster, and it's the perfect size to put a glass on. Now the only thing I'm going to say is if you want these to kind of be polished and you want to go to an extra step, there's actually stuff you can put on here to seal it, to make it waterproof. And as you touch these, as time goes on, your finger is actually going to take some of this paint off, so you don't want to be touching it too much unless you seal it in. I think there's like something you can mix with water. It's a home solution. I think it's like, I don't know, like glue and water, but there's also stuff you can buy at Hobby Lobby that will actually seal this up. You can just ask anybody there and they'll be able to recommend it to you. I'm not sure of the name or what it is called, but you know, just locking in the acrylic paint, just ask them what you can use for that. But I haven't used any on these and they still look really good to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to show this to you and get you focused on it. And yeah, that's about it. That's the finished product right there. So that's what you can make on your own. This didn't take too long, and I just wanted to kind of show you a cool little thing you can do in your free time. And yep, thanks for watching my videos. Normally I'm gonna do board game reviews and tutorials and stuff like that, but I just thought this would be a cool little video that, you know, some information that if you didn't know how to do this, now you do. Real simple, real easy. If you like this video, go ahead and like it and hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. And if there's something you have in terms of like a question about what happened here, go ahead and comment down below. And if there's something else you would like to see me do, give me a comment about that. Thanks for watching my video and have a good one.